Hello, hello, hello. Jessa Francis here. Welcome back to the Caim Circle podcast. I am so honored to have you here with me today. Thank you for showing up with me, showing up for yourself to get some positivity and joy in your life, which is what I want to bring forward. You have officially stepped inside the Caim Circle, which is a place of safety, protection, and unconditional love. And I am honored to have you within this space with me. And yeah, I just want to give you a moment to breathe. Inhale and exhale, settle into the body, settle into where you are in this moment, and just be present with me. Today, I want to talk about purpose. Finding your purpose, finding what it is that you want to bring into the world. I think almost everyone has asked themselves at one point or another, what is my purpose? We all want to feel that we have some sort of reason for living. We want to have meaning, something to feel passionate about, and to have a sense of power in our life because of that, because we have something to give, right? They did a lot of these studies on areas of the world. I think they were called blue areas, where people were living to be 100 years and older. And they were like, what is it that is providing these long lives to so many people? And one of the big things that all of these communities had were the people that were living there had a very strong sense of meaning. They had a sense of purpose for their life. And so it's important, right? So finding your purpose, finding what it is that makes you feel passion and joy and a sense of life makes sense now. My life makes sense now because I have this to do and this to provide and this to share. And it's all connected to the heart. It really is, to be connected to who we are at the core. And that is love. I've said it before, I'll say it probably a million more times. We are love, and we are nature. And so what it all comes down to is that we want to give, right? We want to share, and we also want to receive love. We want karma. We want to, what we put out comes back to us. And that we want to give joy, happiness, love, and get joy, happiness, love. To love and be loved. When we have a reason for being, it's easier to feel worthy of that love, right? Because we have this meaning, we have this purpose, we have something to give that makes us feel, therefore, like, okay, now I'm worthy of love. And worthiness, that's a whole nother thing, right? And something I've talked about in past episodes about finding your self-worth, because we have all these limiting beliefs and tackling those limiting beliefs. But let me just go ahead and soothe your fears. You are worthy. Say it with me. I am worthy. You were born worthy. I was born worthy. Okay? You do have purpose. Not only are you lovable, once again, you are love. You are lovable. You are worthy of love. Let me just reiterate that, bring that really in home. Let that sink into your chest. Let it become your truth. Open yourself up to understanding fully. You are loved. You are worthy. I see you because I see myself. Okay. And we are one and the same. So there's this desire, though, right, of acknowledgement. Deep within, we all are hoping to be seen. We want to be seen, we want to be heard, and we want to be loved. And it is why we seek lovers and partners to take us in and to embrace us fully. It is why we focus on the idea of the soulmate because we want to feel connection, right? We want to feel that someone else sees us, someone else knows that we're real. Like this isn't the Matrix, we're real. And we want to feel that. So the problem is that we get so caught up in receiving outside acknowledgement because before recognizing ourselves and exploring our own inner world first. And that's where, this is what happened to me. I was so entirely focused on finding someone else to love me that I never did the work of loving myself. Let me tell you, that did not work out so well. You have to find and dwell and live within yourself in a space of internal light and love. It has to come from within. So you have to fill your own cup. And I know that this sounds hard it definitely was a hard thing for me. Okay, this idea of filling my own cup, this idea of loving myself without seeking outside validation, without being accepted and acknowledged by everyone else. I had to learn how to accept and acknowledge myself. I had to look in the mirror. I had to sit down and embrace these different versions of myself throughout my life. I had to go back into the times and spaces and areas of my life where I felt neglected and alone and unseen and unheard and unloved. And I had to go in and say, I see you. I see you. I hear you. I love you. And that's it's hard to do, right? So we have to embrace and honor that light within. The good news is that we all have a lot of light, a lot of love, and it's all within us, even when we ignore it. But it takes some time to clear away the fearful blocks that we've built around our truth. But no matter how much clutter may be in the way, I promise you that you are still in there. A beautiful spiritual soul, divine soul, whether you want to be woo-woo or not, is in you, is within your physical body and with all around you. You have all this energy and it does have purpose. We all do. I believe fully that we all have something beautiful and significant to give and to share with the world if you let yourself. And even if you don't. So just think of, and I've said this before, imagine smiling at a stranger and they smile back. Boom. Love. You just added positivity and joy into the world just with a smile. It's so simple and we make it so hard. But it doesn't need to be. And it takes a little bit of excavating, maybe a lot of excavating and sorting, to get to the self-awareness, to get to the understanding of ourselves, the understanding of what we really want. And that journey, that process can be joyful. It can be exciting and exhilarating. And, this self-exploration. So committing to a life of purpose, it takes courage. But as with most courageous actions, it will fill you with joy and a renewed sense of accomplishment when you start digging in. So honoring your truth starts with becoming witness, accepting and embracing the loving light within you. The world is often telling us what to do and who to be. And often that's entirely different than who we really are. And you have to start listening to your instincts and paying clear attention to the decisions you are making daily, right? And this is the foundation, right? We have to set a foundation. And that, for me, meant a very, very solid morning routine. It meant that I was going to wake up and I was going to settle in to my body and take time to detox away from not picking up my phone and going straight outside and taking a big deep breath, doing yoga, meditating, journaling, like setting up a foundation, setting up a space where I could root in and I could begin this feeling of being safe. So that is so important. This feeling of getting to a place where we feel safe in our bodies, we feel safe. And many of us we don't feel safe in our body, right? We feel sometimes betrayed by our own bodies or betrayed by others, and that takes a lot of unpacking. But when we go in and we face that, things will shift and we'll open ourselves up to new possibilities. And I promise you that it will help you find your purpose, right? Because if we're going to find our purpose, we need to know ourselves, to love ourselves. And it takes time to get there. It takes some uncovering of the truth. It takes self-inquiry. And you have that. You have that ability at all times. So if you're struggling, for example, with addiction or feeling stuck, right? You're feeling stuck in a job or a relationship that doesn't feel healthy. You're struggling with your finances. You're unable to take control of your health in any way. Change begins when you actively decide what matters most to you, right? Whether you're addicted to something and you want to give that up, whether you're stuck doing something you don't want to do, etc., etc. And it takes takes some work. So you may, like me, may be a little afraid of making decisions. And let me tell you where that comes from. That comes from years of betraying myself and the love within me by making one fear-based decision after another. It took me a lot of time to learn why I was doing that and how to shift away from it. And for me, it took writing out my story and meditating on the goodness within me and moving my body and spending time in nature to clearly see who I was and what I wanted and why I had been making those poor decisions and how I could change them, right? So before we can get to our purpose, like I said, we have to lay the foundation of building some healthy habits. And when we do that, we then are showing up for ourselves in a way that we never have before. And that builds trust, right? Because in order to trust our decisions and to trust ourselves, we need to just show up for, it can be just one small thing. Just like me waking up, not touching my phone and going outside and taking that big breath of air. Okay. And that can trigger something else to roll forward. It didn't just happen overnight, right? I started with one thing, leaving the phone, getting up, brushing my teeth, going outside, taking a breath of air. And now it's turned into a 10, 15-minute walk, right? And then it's turned into a yoga practice. And then that morphed into a quick meditation. And then I infused my journaling practice. And I've just continually shown up for myself and built love and built trust. And it takes time, and it's one step at a time. So many of us hold on to our regrets and our failures, right? We let them define us. But the truth is that failure is a teacher. It is failure, not success, that shows us who we are and who we are not. And each time you didn't do as well as you hoped, or a relationship failed, or a relapse occurred, we have an opportunity then to see things in a positive, grateful growth mindset, or in a negative, regretful, oh, woe is me, painful mindset, where we can slip into victimhood and just let ourselves crumble, or we can pull ourselves up and see what we can learn. So it takes shifting, and it takes some time to get that shifting to happen. If we look at setbacks or as opportunities to learn and move forward with smarter and better choices, we're better equipped than we were before, right? We can think of these as like a learning tool, and we have a chance at renewal and success the next time. Our lives will continuously replay the same story until we finally get the lesson that we're meant to learn, right? So if you're just making mistakes and making mistakes and making mistakes, but you're not taking, setting the intention to learn about the mistake, to say, okay, what went well? What went wrong? How can I shift? How can I learn? How can I grow? And it takes, sometimes the hard part here is the self-reflection. It takes the going back and the the rereading of the journal, the re-watching of the mistake, the thing that we want to avoid most, right? We don't want to see it. We don't want to feel that again, but that's where we learn. That is where we can say, I know you messed up and I love you anyway. Let's do something different the next time. It takes one positive thought after another to take positive action, right? It all starts with how we think of ourselves. When faced with a difficult issue or decision, you have to ask yourself, what are my choices? Self-inquiry. You're not going to find your purpose without self-inquiry. Who are you, and what do you believe you are? That's the question. You are what you believe you are. So who do you believe you are? Ask yourself, how do you see yourself? Start the self-inquiry. You get to decide. It's a wild thing, right? You get to decide. Everybody around in the world, every single person that sees you in a different way. You see yourself in an entirely different way. So how do you want to see yourself? You want to see yourself as purposeful and joyful, right? So ask yourself, who do you want to be? How do you want to be seen and heard? What do you want people to feel when they're around you? You choose. It all comes back to self-awareness and following your intuition. Feeling stuck with how and where to start? Reach out to me. Reach out to me. I will help you build the foundation. I will help you ask the right questions. I will help you stay accountable. I will help you learn how to meditate, how to move, how to create a mind-body connection, right? So if you want to know your purpose, or if you feel like you know your purpose, but you feel stuck with which way to move forward, and your mind is spinning around and around, and you're getting caught up in your limiting beliefs, and maybe you don't even have fully become aware of your limiting beliefs, work with me. That's what I'm here for. JessaFrancis.net. At Jessa Francis on Instagram, on Facebook. Join the Facebook, the Caim Circle book club. I am available, and I am ready when you are ready. But it takes you to finally make the decision. You have to make the decision. I can't make it for you. And I can stand by you, and I can give you resources, and I can support you, and I can ask the right questions, but you have to be willing to answer them. You have to be hungry to know. That's what got me on my path. I wanted to know. I had this horrible low self-worth. Why do I have this? Where is this coming from? I don't want to feel this anymore. I got it, to be 30 years old, and I'm thinking my life is half over. I'm like, whoa, buddy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I want to control the next bit of my life. I want to know. I want to feel purpose. I want to feel joy. I want to move in the direction I want. But what is that? And I had all of these questions. And then I dug in. And here I am. Here I am. So, if you're someone who's been going to therapy and it's not working, or you're feeling stuck, or you're feeling depressed and you're ready to change, but you got to be ready to change. I'm not working with somebody who isn't ready to change. I can't force anybody to do anything. I try to do that with my kids, let me tell you. My 17-year-old son, he has to make the decision at this point. It's up to him, and it's up to you, right? It's up to me to show up and to do this. We have a choice. Once again, I want to remind you that you are seen. You are loved. Okay? You are worthy. You are worthy. You always have been. You're filled with light, love. And the light and love within me sees, knows the light and love within you. I know that you have it in you. I know it's in with me. And we can make this world a better place one day at a time by putting more of that light and love out and less of the fear. And less of the fear, right? Choosing joy. I hope you have a beautiful day. I'd like to remind you to once again breathe. Whenever you're feeling a little stressed, sharp inhale in, slow exhale out. Sharp inhale in, slow exhale out. Relax. Breathe. You are worthy. Say these things, know these things, embody these things. Thank you again for being here. I hope you have a beautiful and happy day. And I will see you next week.